Hello, my name is Arthur Santos. I'm the marketing manager for Fendt Planters. And today we're going to do a quick walk around so I can show you some of the key features and offerings of the Fendt Momentum planter. So starting with our hitch options. Here we have a standard 3-point hitch. We do have an option to have a cylinder mounted here that would turn this into a high clearance hitch, which allows us to move the hitch up and down, and we can overcome obstacles or even terraces as we are maneuvering the planter. The other option is a traditional drawbar, which would just connect to the drawbar of the tractor. As we move back here along the tongue of the planter, we can see that the hoses, the hydraulic lines, the liquid fertilizer, and even back here, the vacuum system, everything is easily accessible from a maintenance standpoint. Here, right behind, we have one of the key features of Momentum, the inline tandem. And this is something unique with the planter because, as you can see, the tires are in front of each other. There's no side-by-side tire. And when we don't have a side-by-side tire, we don't have a pinch row. That's a row where we plant and we have tires compressing and compacting on both sides. This will obviously restrict the root growth and affect on yield. So what Momentum brings is a zero pinch row planter. You can see that the front tire has a slightly lower diameter and the rear tire has a slightly larger diameter, and this is on purpose. This design is to overcome obstacles. And as we deflate, and we're going to talk about this very shortly, we increase this footprint, this will get us an amazing traction in less than ideal conditions. So as I just mentioned, we have our tire inflation and deflation system. The tire inflation system is part of the bigger package that we call Low Logic. But on the tire inflation system side, we have a spindle. This spindle is tapped with air, with pressurized air. This is not a normal spindle, this is a smart spindle. This spindle is measuring the weight of the planter in this rim and actually inflating and deflating the tire according to the weight. So basically, depending on the mode that you have, if you are in field mode and you have the planter unfolded, the tire will deflate all the way down, minimizing compaction, maximizing the footprint. And it will go as low as 15 psi. We just talked about the tire inflation system, that's part of Low Logic, but Low Logic, as I mentioned, it's a bigger package. And we have our weight management system. What does this do? And we can look at this. This is our weight transfer cylinder. Most planters have a weight transfer cylinder, but it's a weight transfer, not a weight management. The difference here is that this cylinder is transferring the weight of the planter real time based on the operating mode that you choose from the cab. It's not a switch that you flip, you transfer the weight, you gotta go back and you gotta dig. This is an automatic system that you choose a mode in the cab, and the smart spindles that we just talked about, they are measuring the weight of the planter. As you're going through the topography, it's measuring the weight of the planter and it's constantly shifting the weight from the toolbar to the central frame or from the central frame to the toolbar. As I've mentioned before, our Low Logic weight management system, it's measuring the weight across the entire planter. So our wing rims also have the smart spindle measuring the weight. We also have the spindles tapped, and we also have the tire inflation here. So now let's talk about what we call, it's the heart of the Momentum planter, right? It started from the beginning of the design, and it's one of the most amazing features we offer. It's the vertical contouring toolbar. And how do we do this? What is so unique about this planter? Well, what this planter has is a floating toolbar. So let's start with the traditional, the chassis, our 10x10 frame here on my right. This is the frame, and this is basically following the terrain just like any other planter. What is unique about Momentum is our 7x7 frame, which this is the vertical contouring toolbar. How does this work? We have these two cylinders we call the flipper cylinders, that one and this one, and these cylinders can move the floating toolbar up or down. And how will they know how to position the toolbar? And we go here to the row units. We have potentiometers here in the row units, and they are measuring the height of the row unit. So what we want with these parallel arms is to maintain them level, flat. So we measure the lowest point of a row unit, we measure the highest point of another row unit, and we'll position the toolbar right in the middle, maximizing the range that the row units can operate, and guarantee the proper depth and the proper downforce so we can have, in the end, an even emergence. Let's talk about vertical range. So when we talk about vertical range, we have the vertical range of the row unit. 8 inches up, 8 inches down. We have 16 inches of vertical travel range just with the row unit. Most planters has 14. But Momentum vertical range is a combination of the row unit vertical range and the toolbar. The toolbar can move 52 inches. So when you combine the row unit with the toolbar, Momentum total vertical range is up to 68 inches. It's a little above my shoulder. Obviously, we're not gonna have a planter down here and another planter in my shoulder, but this is just to showcase the amazing vertical range of the vertical contouring toolbar. And this is why we say that no matter the topography, if you have terraces, if you have all kinds of obstacles, rolling hills, the VCT will contour and will follow that terrain. And that will guarantee to you the proper depth, consistent depth, and consistent downforce. So our row units for the Momentum planter, they are in fact improved versions of the existing Echo planter row units. We had improvements with reinforcements in the casting, we had improvements with the bushing, and we released this new design of a depth adjustment mechanism. So as you go through the first, the second, the third season, and you want to calibrate and ensure that you have the perfect depth, you have a very simple nut here. You release this clip and you can adjust the depth of your row units in a very seamless way. So now let's talk about our capacity. And Momentum is a high capacity planter. And it starts with the liquid fertilizer option. Right here we have the optional 1,000 gallon liquid fertilizer tank. As you go back, we have the seed tanks. We have two 65 bushel capacity seed tanks. So the overall capacity is 130 bushel. So the Momentum planters, they come in two sizes. We have the 40-foot models and we have the 60-foot models. In all these models, we offer 4 different spacings. So the one we have here is the traditional 30-inch spacing. But we also offer the split row version with 15-inch spacing. We also offer the 20 and the 22-inch spacing for both the 40-footer and the 60-footer. So one important thing about a planter is the refilling, right? So what we did is we have this opening catwalk that will allow you to park your tender right here, and in the same position, you can refill both tanks in a very easy way. So now let's shift from features and offerings to what are the problems that the Momentum planter can solve for the farmers, and what are the ergonomic benefits that we can offer to your operation. So let's start with one of the most important things, which is consistent emergence. And how do we get that? We need to have consistent depth, consistent downforce. And the vertical contouring toolbar, the VCT, can contour any terrain and can provide a vertical range that is unmatched in the industry. That will allow the row unit and the Delta 4 cylinder to do their work and guarantee you consistent depth and consistent downforce. Shifting from even emergence to one of the most critical problems that we have, and it affects every single farm in the world, compaction. Momentum mitigates compaction by eliminating pinch rolls. The inline tandems that we presented have wheels in front of each other, not side by side. We are not compressing and limiting the root growth of any row unit by putting pressure on both sides, like most planters in the market. The low logic weight management system evenly distributes the weight of the planter across the toolbar or maximizes the compaction in the control traffic, but it does from a button from inside the cab, automatically controlling and distributing the weight of the planter. How does it do this? Smart spindles. We are measuring the weight of your planter as you are cruising to the field. And this information also is used for the tire inflation system. We are inflating and deflating our tires real time based on the weight of the planter and also the level of the commodities. So we have a high capacity planter that will get you the efficiency and that will allow you to cover more acres in less time, but minimizing and mitigating the compaction. So you can maximize your yield, thus your profit. For more information, check us out at our website, www.fendt.com, and also follow us in our social media channels.